Game Pass has some competition. Or does it? Minecraft is about to look way better on your Xbox consoles. People are still buying the Xbox mini fridge, and if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you have got to play this game. Let's discuss. So Crusader Kings 3 made its way over to Xbox Series X and S consoles as well as PS5s, but it also came day one to Game Pass. Now this is significant because this game previously was only available for PC players. And I gotta say, I jumped into it. I had been capping pretty hard for this game in previous videos saying how excited I was, and I finally got to jump into it yesterday. And I gotta say, I was at point a little overwhelmed with the tutorial. I kind of had to be like, oh, let me go back and check that out again. I kind of missed that. But once I got through it, actually, I was pretty impressed at how they translated it to Xbox and the controller. I can see how it would obviously play better with mouse and keyboard, how it's easier to manage everything, but I think they did a pretty good job of mapping the controller and making it accessible to console players. The first thing that impressed me about this game was previously I was like, oh, this is a game kind of like Civilization, it's a strategy game, but there are some pretty deep RP elements. In the tutorial, they walk you through how to find a spouse for your character, how to find a spouse for your heir and your children. And I was going through and I was looking at all the different spouses. They got like the little descriptions of them. They have their own little like titles. Like one girl, it was like she was a ravenous gambler. I was like, whoa, that's not me. I'm all about chivalry and honor. I can't be with a girl who's known for like gambling. That's whack. And then I was scrolling through. I was like, dang, this is a long list of potential women my character can marry. And then I looked down at the bottom and it says showing like 10 out of like almost 1,100 women. I was like, what is this? It's like medieval Tinder or something. How big is this map? And then I zoomed out and I was like, oh, this map is pretty big. It covers like all of Europe, the Holy Roman Empire, and then North Africa. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So that was the first time I was like, whoa, I'm pretty impressed. So I make my way through the tutorial. I'm kind of doing my thing. I invite some knights to my court. I need some chivalrous, honorable men to maybe be commanders in my army, to be a part of my court. And then out of the blue, I get this invitation from this dude who's like, you need to honor your obligations to the Alliance and help me fight this holy war against this other nation. I don't know if I should get involved in like an armed conflict right now, but then it showed me the consequences of declining, and it said that I was gonna lose like a bunch of fame. I was like, wait a minute, whoa, I can't have people thinking that I'm some kind of wuss. So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna split my army up. I'm gonna send like maybe like 150, 200 guys over to help him out and leave the rest of my force of like 650, 600 guys here. Well, I made the mistake. I thought when I split them up, I can send them individually, but I made the mistake of accidentally sending my whole army. So by the time I get over there, I get ambushed and my army is decimated. I'm like, oh my God, I should have never agreed to this. I go back in shame, in defeat, back to my little duchy, and my vassals are so upset with my performance and my decision to go to war that my spy master uncovers a plot against me. I'm like, whoa, my dudes are plotting against me. What is going on? They get into open war, try to overthrow me. I'm like, oh my God, I have no army because I just sent them all to die over in this war that means nothing. But luckily, the person who I married, my character married, I had an alliance with her father. She had a high opinion of me. So I wrote to him. I was like, yo, can you help me out? So he sent his forces, helped me quell my rebellion. I was like, dang, this is crazy, man. I'm only like a couple of hours in and all this stuff has happened. Like I said, this game has a lot more going on to it than just a typical strategy game. You have a whole diplomatic element, you have a whole intrigue element. So if you're all about plotting schemes, you can go about that way rather than building up an army. And I can see this game going pretty deep and eating a bunch of my time up. I'm definitely gonna jump back in once this video is over. If you decide to jump into it, good luck to you. It can be a little overwhelming at times, but the amount of things, the variety of things that can just happen to you, even if you're just waiting and you're not really at war or doing anything, is pretty impressive. I can't wait to see where my medieval journey takes me next. This Xbox accessory has quickly become one of the most popular Xbox accessory in the history of the platform, and it may surprise you. I'm talking about the Xbox Mini Fridge. Now, to give you a brief history of the Xbox Mini Fridge, it was revealed last E3. It was born out of like a marketing brand Twitter battle between Skittles and Xbox. And Xbox said if they win, they would make an Xbox mini fridge. They ended up winning the Twitter poll, the Twitter battle, whatever you want to call it, and they did indeed make an Xbox mini fridge. I've talked about it a couple of times on the channel. I talked about it to the point where people were like, is this a re-upload? Like, you've talked about the Xbox mini fridge, I feel like, for 10 straight videos. And it was one of those things where I was like, you know, it seems kind of stupid, but I really want one. I couldn't explain why. They did a really good job of making it a scaled up version of your Xbox Series X. They had the power button, the sync button. They had everything that you would find on a regular Series X. It fits apparently up to 12 cans or some cans and some snacks. It also fits an entire Xbox Series X inside if you take out the shelves. So when this thing went up for pre-orders, people are interested in it, obviously. And of course, like with every other accessory up to that point, it got sold out immediately for the pre-orders. It went like that. A bunch of people with bots scalped them, and it was just kind of a mess. And this was all leading up to the holiday season, so people were like, yo, what is going on? I want to pick one of these up for the holidays, for Christmas, to give it for a gift. When can I expect them to come back into stock? It was this whole thing that there was whole articles being put up saying like, if you want an Xbox fridge, follow these links. You can expect them to restock at this place, but it's only in the UK, so you gotta pay extra shipping for that. If you're in the US, blah, 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 blah. It was crazy. It was madness. At its peak, these fridges were being sold for like $300-400, which is a crazy markup considering that they were only $100 MSRP. And while you may have forgotten about the mini fridge, I certainly have not. I have one. I enjoy it, and it makes an appearance in a lot of my videos, but you know, like I said, not the best mini fridge, but a cool accessory to have overall, I would say. But what is surprising to me is that people still want the Xbox mini fridge, the Xbox Series X mini fridge. It is officially the all-time best-selling collectible on StockX, which is a resale website. And that's crazy to think about considering all the other stuff that website sells. Sneakers, all other sorts of collectibles like Funko Pops, other consoles, things like that. If you are still interested in picking up a fridge, but you are like, I'll wait until all the craziness dies down, I'll wait until they go into retailers like Target to pick one up. If you still want to pick one up, they're on sale right now. They have in this article that I'm going to link down in the description, links to the US, UK, and the EU plugs for the StockX website. So PlayStation has finally revealed its 3-tiered program for its Game Pass equivalent. Yes, I'm going to be talking about PlayStation, guys. I feel like I have to qualify that because every time I bring up PlayStation or Claymation, a lot of people are in the comments like, boo, stop talking about PlayStation. This is an Xbox channel. What are you talking about PlayStation for? I'm talking about it, guys, because this new service, Spartacus, PlayStation Plus Extra, PlayStation Plus Extra Premium, it's being billed as a direct competitor to Game Pass, a rival to Game Pass. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Now, what I was surprised the most about was that the leaks for this, preceding this, when people were first talking about Spartacus, when it was operating under that code name, the like terribly Photoshop leaked version that has been circulating around on Twitter, it was pretty accurate to what actually came to pass for this new PlayStation Game Pass. So they are essentially bundling PlayStation Plus and PS Now into one service, and they're going to offer it in 3 tiers. The first tier is $10. It's called PlayStation Plus Essential. It's $10 a month and will include the same PlayStation Plus benefits that exist today. If you are not familiar, that is the equivalent of having Xbox Live Gold. You get to play games online, and you get like 1 or 2 free games a month. They also have PlayStation Plus Extra. It's a new tier that includes all the essential benefits and adds up to 400 PlayStation 4 or PS5 games. Games in this extra tier are also downloadable, and it will be priced at $14.99 per month. The third tier is PlayStation Plus Premium, priced at $18 a month. And the premium option includes all the same benefits as Essential and Extra, alongside 340 additional games, including select PS3 titles via cloud streaming. There will also be a catalog of classic games available in both streaming and download options, including original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP games. They'll also offer demos as part of this tier. Now, Jim Ryan has already come out and kind of rained on this whole parade. He said that he confirmed that new games, at least from Sony Studios, are not going to be put on the service day one. God of War Ragnarok, not going to be on here. The new Spider-Man game with Peter Parker and Miles Morales is not going to be a part of that subscription, which is pretty much the defining feature of Xbox Game Pass right now. As part of our subscription, we are going to be able to play all of the new Xbox Studios games when they come out. When Redfall comes out, it's going to be added to Game Pass. When Starfield comes out, it's going to be added to Game Pass. Stalker 2, all of these games are included in our subscription. And that kind of puts a damper on an argument that I've seen very popularized on Twitter and on social media when they critique Game Pass. They talk about Xbox Game Pass. I don't subscribe to that because it's all old games. And this, looking at it right now, is literally all old games. Some old PlayStation 4 games, old PlayStation 5 games, and of course the backwards compatibility, right? And another weird thing is that you still cannot play PlayStation 3 titles natively on your PlayStation 5. And they even confirm it right here in this thing. Like, it's still the best way to play old PlayStation games is to get a PlayStation 3, I guess, if you can find a working one of those. Now, in the past, I have said that I enjoy competition between the consoles. How can these companies compete for our dollar? Like, if there's only one version of Game Pass, what incentive is there for Microsoft to improve Game Pass as a service? But I don't see this as a direct competitor. I think it's nice. I think it's a great way to kind of, PS Now, the PlayStation player base wasn't very into it. So this is a nice way to kind of still use that without throwing it out the bag entirely. So since I filmed this next segment, there has been a little bit of an update for the story. Ray tracing is not coming to Minecraft on Xbox consoles anytime soon. Apparently there was some trickery with the code or something and people thought it was coming to consoles finally, but apparently it's not. Keep that in mind as you watch this next segment. But my friend Dallas at It's Evie Cloud has some very insightful information about Minecraft nonetheless. And I just think this whole situation is so weird because it's like they were showing off ray tracing Minecraft when they were showing off the power of the Series X. I don't know what's going on. It's a weird situation. Just keep that in mind. The story has been updated since I filmed it. So for this next segment, I thought I would bring on my very dear friend, Dallas, aka It's Evie Cloud. Chances are you have heard his voice if you tuned into one of my Twitch streams. So I brought you on here because one of the big stories this week for Xbox is that ray tracing is coming to the Minecraft version of consoles very soon. It's not on there yet. Right now, if you want to experience it for yourself on consoles, what you're going to have to do is either have a friend who has a PC, or maybe you have a PC, have them host a server with the ray tracing enabled, and if you join from your console, you'll be able to experience the glory for yourself. So this is something that's been, pretty highly anticipated, but I personally don't play Minecraft. I don't have a lot of experience with Minecraft or knowledge about it outside of the memes and the TikToks that I see. But Dallas, you have a lot of experience, I believe, with Minecraft, is that right?
Yeah, I've played for such a very long time, and truly we were just talking about this. I think it was alpha, when Minecraft was in alpha, but maybe even before that. I think there was a point in time, now this could be just a fever dream, but I think there was a point in time where you could play creative mode Minecraft just on a browser.
Now, when did alpha come out? What year?
I think so. Alpha came out around 2010. It was about when I started high school, and I knew that they had I took a computer science class, and we had computers in there, and people were just messing around playing Minecraft.
The glory days.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So what have you played with ray tracing enabled on Minecraft at all since on the PC end, or what are your thoughts about it?
So 2014, as still on a MacBook Pro, I did not have the graphics card to handle ray tracing, but it was really big at the time, and I think it was called Minecraft RTX. And what happened was they actually reached out to different creators to build these big elaborate maps, and they're very cool looking, specifically for ray tracing. They would focus on things like light and reflection and different colors.
Like a showcasing.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and there was 5 different maps, and there was some sort of adventure aspect and exploring the area that was kind of involved with it. I think there was an underwater one. I remember one vividly that was like these big, even mirrors. It's such a difference to what Minecraft is, but I'm really excited to try it because it's so beautiful.
Potentially, console owners on the Xbox get access to some of that like fancy pants Minecraft visuals. That's very exciting, obviously. So explain it for maybe some of my viewers who don't know, and like myself, I don't really like play Minecraft like that. But you were telling me that there are 2 different versions. Console players play on Bedrock, is that right? And then there's also a Java version. Can you explain like some of the differences?
So Bedrock is very much geared towards consoles. It was initially like the console version of Minecraft. I think it first was out on things like Xbox, and I think like the Xbox 360. So that time period is about when Minecraft Bedrock came out. In Bedrock Edition, there are certain things that work a little bit better, a little bit worse, and it kind of translates in different ways. Bedrock, I think, is very much geared towards community, specifically just because of what the Xbox is. The Xbox is this console, you play with your friends, you go onto Game Pass, you get into these Xbox party chats and all these things. So, having a friend who has Xbox but maybe has not played Minecraft before, that's how I would get them in. I was like, oh, well, you can just play on your Xbox, we can just play together, but there is a little bit of a difference. So with Java Edition, I think it's geared more towards actually just a lot of like YouTubers tend to use Java Edition, and I think that kind of pushes it into the
cool version. Yeah, you don't want to you gotta play with everyone.
I would say that that's the case. There are like actual technical differences, whether it's the electronics of Minecraft. The redstone is a little bit different. Some of the actual elements of the world are a little bit different in how things interact. So I wouldn't say that one is better than the other per se, but I think Bedrock, specifically because it's very console oriented, is so geared towards, I don't know, it feels very easily accessible to build community.
So, okay, now I have to ask, because I am an Xbox guy, I have the Xbox channel, Xbox Ready, and obviously Microsoft owns Mojang. So would you say that aspect of Mojang has remained intact, more or less, now that they're under Microsoft? Because I feel like a lot of people look at Microsoft and they're like, oh, they're a big corporation and they don't really care. Like, a lot of people were afraid that it was Minecraft will fall off, I feel like, with Microsoft at the helm. There's a lot of skeptical people about Microsoft Xbox. I don't personally understand that, but, so what would you think?
I think that the core of what Mojang is directly influenced by its creators and its community. Java has this really big modded community for creating different mods for Minecraft, and some of the early modded content creators now work for Mojang. So I don't think the core is going to be lost there. We may see some of the logistical things change a little bit here and there, but if Mojang wants to continue pushing the way that they've been pushing, especially through the last 5-10 years, they're going to continue to talk and speak with their content creators and work with their community.
Nice, man. Well, that was my friend Dallas, like I said, EV Cloud on Instagram. He's on Twitch as well. Check out one of our streams when we go live. It's usually Sea of Thieves, but I would be interested in mixing it up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Do you have anything to plug?
No, just go ahead and drop a follow at It's EVI Cloud anywhere you go, and you can, EV Dallas is all the same thing. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. We out here.